You're not imagining this shift. Something bigger than you is happening behind the scenes, and it's not random. Chosen one, you are being watched closely by a high-level spiritual authority, a divine contact who has been silently observing your every move, testing your faith, your discipline, your endurance, and your loyalty to your purpose. And now, the decision has been made. You're about to be relocated, not temporarily, not as a lesson, not as an experiment, but permanently. The place you're in now can no longer contain the version of you that's emerging. That old environment, those stagnant routines, and those silent enemies who underestimated you. They're no longer a match for the frequency you've grown into. You've been stretched, refined, and prepared, and now you're being selected for divine extraction. You're being moved for alignment, protection, and purpose. Because where you're headed, the people and energies you've dealt with will no longer have access to you, you see. This isn't just about a new city, a new job, or a new relationship. It's about stepping into a zone where divine connections operate, where kingdom business takes place, and where spiritual authority runs deep. You've been hidden in plain sight. Some thought you were invisible, others dismissed your value, but heaven never did. The Most High has kept you cloaked until now, like a warrior stationed in enemy territory, gathering data, learning patterns, and sharpening your inner sight. Every delay you experienced wasn't a denial. It was divine protection. The silence was preparation. The warfare was training. And the reason you often felt out of place, because you were never meant to stay where you are. You've outgrown the assignment, and heaven's GPS has just recalculated your next move permanently. This relocation is strategic. You're being taken somewhere. Your gifts can no longer be buried. Where your voice will carry weight, and where the mantle you've been carrying in silence will finally be recognized in the spirit realm and mirrored in the physical. The shift may not look logical at first. You might be asked to leave behind people you love, systems you built, or places where you once thrived. But this is not about comfort. It's about calling. This move is not just geographical, it's dimensional. You're about to live in an entirely new spiritual frequency, and those who once walked with you simply won't survive in the climate you're going to. Not because they're evil, but because they weren't built for your next level. And where you're going, access is restricted. Some of you already feel it. Doors are closing with no explanation. People are falling off without drama. Opportunities that used to excite you suddenly feel hollow. That's the spiritual eviction notice, the call to pack your bags internally before the external shift takes place. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected. Spiritually, your address is already being changed. Your angels have received the order. Your new territory is being cleared, and your enemies, they're starting to panic. They can feel your energy pulling away, and they know once you're gone, they'll never have the chance to siphon your light again. Because this time, God is relocating you, permanently. You're not being moved as a reward. You're being moved because your assignment requires it. What's coming demands more space, more quiet, and more obedience. You will need to say no more often. You will need to fast more frequently. You will need to be alone more deeply. But it will be worth it, because in that hidden place, your anointing will multiply. Your vision will become sharper, and your influence no longer diluted by distraction, will begin to transform atmospheres without you saying a word. This is where divine wealth finds you, where unexplainable favor starts chasing you, where divine partnerships begin to appear out of nowhere, and where your spirit, once burdened by your surroundings, finally finds rest. It won't be easy. There will be grief in this upgrade. Not because you're losing, but because part of you is dying. The part that got used to surviving. The part that learned how to shrink. The part that tolerated spiritual suffocation just to keep peace, but no more. You are not being kept small anymore. You are not being contained. The place that tried to cage you is about to watch you soar. And when you rise, it won't be for applause. It will be for impact. You are being planted where your roots will go deep and your branches will touch nations, because you were never meant to be local. You were meant to be global. And this relocation, it's the first step. God has already sent the signal. The angels have gone ahead of you, and soon your physical world will reflect the spiritual truth that has already taken place. Everything will start shifting. Your spirit will feel lighter. Your dreams will become clearer. Your senses more heightened. And one day you'll wake up and realize the place you once cried in is no longer your home. The people who once mocked you no longer cross your path. The weight you once carried has evaporated. And the assignment ahead, it will make every valley, every betrayal, every lonely night make sense. Because it was all a setup for this exact moment, your permanent relocation. And when it happens, it will be sudden. One day, everything will seem the same. The next, everything will change. The shift will be quiet, but powerful. Some will call it coincidence. Others will call it luck. But you'll know it was divine. You'll walk into spaces you didn't apply for, sit at tables you were never invited to, and be handed blessings you didn't even pray for, because your obedience already made the down payment, and your endurance sealed the contract. Now the delivery is coming swiftly, and this time you're not returning, not just because you don't want to, but because heaven has closed the door behind you. You are not allowed to return to that place of struggle. You are not allowed to go back to pretending. You are not allowed to dim your light to fit in anymore. You've been released. This is why things have felt strange lately. You've been in spiritual transition, caught between where you were and where you're going. But don't confuse delay with denial. God was just making sure the new place was fully prepared. The blessing was too big to rush, and now it's ready. That sudden call, that divine dream, that unexpected connection, it's coming. And when it arrives, it will confirm everything your spirit already knew. You were never crazy. You were chosen. You were never lost. You were hidden, and you were never being punished. You were being positioned. Chosen one. Get ready. You're not relocating temporarily for a season. You're relocating permanently for a reason. And once you're there, you'll finally realize why everything had to happen exactly the way it did. You'll walk the streets of your new territory with tears in your eyes, not because of pain, but because of peace. The kind of peace you've never known before. The kind that doesn't come from people, places, or possessions, but from alignment. The kind of peace that says, I'm finally where I belong. And when you get there, remember this. It was never about the destination. It was about the preparation. And now that you're ready, so is the world. They won't see you coming. But when you arrive, The shift will be undeniable. The atmosphere will respond. The spiritual realm will take notice. And those who once doubted you, will be silenced. Because what God is doing for you now is permanent. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them gossip. They're speaking about a version of you that no longer exists. The real you, the anointed you, is rising, quietly, strategically, permanently. Your name is being whispered in rooms your feet haven't touched yet, but they will. And when they do, you'll realize it was all divinely orchestrated. Your life is no longer random. Your steps are ordered, and your future, it's already set. Prepare, chosen one. You're being relocated, and this time, you're not coming back.